Are you ready to become an escape-reneur? Well, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Bye Bye 9 to 5 podcast, designed by brilliant women, especially for brilliant women who want to create the life of their dreams by escaping the 9 to 5.
Welcome to Bye Bye 9 to 5 podcast. And I have a special podcast edition for you today. Today, we are focused on our business booster call. And I'm so excited about this young lady that has so graciously volunteered to participate in our business booster call. And so for those of you who are not familiar with Bye Bye 9 to 5, we are a podcast where we really focus on helping women to get advice and tips and resources, especially when they're on the fence about starting a business, so that they can move forward and live the life that they truly, truly love. And so if you have not subscribed, please do so and hear all the wonderful episodes that we have. Now, on to our business booster call for today. For our business booster call, which is, let me explain that just a second. We have someone here who is new in business. She's getting her business up. And for our business booster call, we actually come on the line and give her help working through her business. And then we will follow through with Miss Lisa for the next few months and continue to support and help her. There was also a mindset coach, Vanessa Newport, that was supposed to be here today, but she couldn't make it. So we're just moving forward, Lisa and I, and getting some things out there so we can get this ball rolling. So, Miss Lisa, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so excited.
Yes. And this is Lisa Elliott. She has a wonderful business called Plae In The City in Alexandria, Virginia. And hint, hint, Lisa's going to have to expand this to different cities because I'm in Atlanta and I want to play in the city too. And so,
awesome.
Plae In The City is an activities and event company covering the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And so we're going to have Lisa to step in and tell us a little bit about her business and who she serves with this business.
Okay, so it is called Plae In The City, and it's spelled Plae, and that's another story in itself. And the ultimate goal is to bring it to different cities. So we will come to Atlanta.
Yay!
The business idea came from me complaining year after year because people literally just, all they want to do, so it seems, is just go to dinner or just have drinks. And I know that tends to happen as you get older. But living in large metropolitan areas, I was like, enough. We need to do some other things. So I create activities, some you've already heard of, like a wine and cheese pairing and tasting or things like that. One that I'm working on right now, though, is a little different. It's called Bikes and Bites. So that's bicycles and food. So you ride on a scenic trail, because we have lots of bike trails in the DC area, excuse me. And then you will stop and have like maybe a little picnic or just heavy, healthy hors d'oeuvres and things along those lines. So I want people to be physically active. I'm not against food. Believe me, if you cut me, I'll bleed pizza. So that's not what I'm trying to get people away from. But I also want to bring entrepreneurs and their services and their businesses to light in the area, because people may not know about certain, bicycle rental companies or companies that can service your bike and things along those lines. So in addition to that, I'll have an opportunity for people to advertise their business. For example, like I just said, the bikes. It would be a bike company if you needed to rent from, and we would get a discount. Or if you have a bike, we would have someone offer a discount for you to have your bike serviced. So you learn about different businesses. So I thought that needed to happen. So I'm making it happen.
There you go. I absolutely love that idea. And the reason why, now, who is your target audience, Lisa?
So I'm vacillating with that a bit. I'm looking at people with a disposable income. I'm definitely targeting men and women. And the age group, I'm still a little rough around the edges with, but right now I'm focusing on, say, 30, excuse me, 30 to 45-ish.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to see what shakes out. I did a poll or a monkey survey, Survey Monkey, whatever that thing is called.
Mm-hmm.
When initially I was just gonna have this be more of a dating, not a dating site, but a site where people could go find activities for specifically for dates. But I
Mm-hmm.
decided that single people like myself, we need opportunities to have fun too.
Yes.
So it may end up being a little older than mid 40s, maybe late 40s. And I'm okay with that.
That's great. Now I love that. And I love the fact that you are playing around with your target audience. The one thing I can tell you, I tell my clients this all the time, Lisa, is that just put it out there, keep playing around, because you won't know what really works, because what you think works in your head won't work until you actually try it. So keep playing around with the different age ranges and the different activities. And before you know it, it will start to narrow itself down and migrate towards you, actually, for your perfect target audience. Okay?
Okay.
So I love this idea. Oh my gosh, I have so many ideas for you, because it's things I want to do. I'm single here in Atlanta as well. And so, like I saw this event just recently, chocolate and wine. I was like, oh, I'm going to that. And, I'm going to this little jazz thing tonight that they have at a hotel where they play jazz every last Friday of the month. And
that sounds fun.
Yes, and I'm going by myself. And so that's another thing, is that single people, like myself, I'm not digging up a date to go, and
Right.
I'm not going to not go because I don't have a date. And I think
Exactly.
one of the things that's important, Lisa, is that I'm at that age where I don't care whether I have a date or not. Now, my daughter is in her 30s, and she's like, who you going with? By myself. And she's like, oh no, I can't do that. So it's like, yeah. So very nice. I absolutely love your idea. So
good.
yes. So tell me, and I believe there is a market for that, because let me tell you, and I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk a little bit today as well about how to do some market research for that if you have not done it already.
Okay.
But I believe there's a market for that without doing the research. I believe that because, I can just talk to my friends for one and hear them say the same thing. And then I can just see all the things that are happening in the city, in a big city, and you're in a big city like I am. So I just see all the things that happen. And, I do have some friends my age who say, well, I'm not going by myself either. And I'm like, I'm totally going by myself. I don't care. So I think it's just a really good thing, and who knows, at some point you may end up, because, the one thing that I have learned in this coaching business is that I am my own best client. So you may end up migrating towards single people anyway, because you're single, and you may end up being your own best client. So absolutely, I love it. So what challenges are you faced with right now in your business, Lisa?
How much time do you have? No, I'm just kidding. So because this is new as far as it being a business, I have a background in event planning and destination management and all of those fun things, but this is different because they're kind of like one-off events.
Mm-hmm.
They start and finish the same day, and there's a lot of background work with the vendors. So one of the things that I ran into, I need to have I don't want to say precise, but a structured manner in approaching vendors, and know immediately before I approach them, how I'm going to frame the pricing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I'm losing my voice all of a sudden. So I ran into a little situation where I approached a vendor, and she loved the idea. We talked about how the event was going to flow and how it would work and a venue space and all of these great things. And then she wanted half the money, and I hadn't even thought. I was so excited about the event, I hadn't stopped to think about how the money would shake out, if that makes sense. I knew I would obviously pay her, but I don't want to split 50-50. I don't mind paying her, obviously. And even a portion of, like, this is a class or a mini workshop, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to figure that out ASAP.
Right.
Because I have other letters of interest out to other vendors, and I need to know what I'm going to say. If they say yes, okay, I want to collaborate with you. So that I didn't get upset. I just said, okay, this is a teaching moment for me.
Yes.
And it's not her fault. I mean, people,
Mm-mm.
closed mouths don't get fed, as they say. So,
Yes.
she asked. I could have said no, but then I didn't have a retort.
Right.
If I said no, then I didn't have like the percentages or anything along those lines. I was too lax
Mm-hmm.
in the financial approach to it, and I cannot be if it's a business. So
Absolutely.
that one jumped to the top of the pile. And then there's visibility, because I'm new, trying to just be in the market that so many other people are trying to be heard, and other businesses are trying to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that too goes into a little bit of mindset,
Mm-hmm.
where, I want the business, I'm all in for the business being seen and things along those lines, but not necessarily me.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little bit of unintentional / maybe intentional hiding.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, I'm trying to be honest with myself about that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of different reasons for that. So there's that. And I don't know necessarily, and I've had this experience in the past as well when I was trying to start another business. I'm not big on sharing my personal life. It's just, and probably because I'm not that interested in others.
Right.
When I see people posting their food or whatever the case is that day, or them walking their dog or whatever it is,
Right.
It's entertaining to some. It's not necessarily entertaining to me. I do like to see certain brands that I like or follow, especially self-built people, a little bit about their private lives, but I don't need to know everything. So I don't know what to share to make me interesting. And sometimes I think people overshare. I think there's a fine line between oversharing and TMI and all these other things. And does someone really want to know what I had for breakfast? I could see, when I go on vacation, because I love to travel,
Mm-hmm.
showing interesting different things. But my everyday life right now is literally my hustle, trying to build my business.
Right.
One person did say that they would be interested in that, but you want to see my spreadsheets? Like, I don't know what you want me to show you.
Yes.
So I thought about maybe doing a couple of videos where I am, scouting a venue or scouting a certain thing to give people a little inside scoop.
Nice.
So those are the top 3 things. I could go on.
Well, let's look at these 3. So I'll hold off on pricing for a second, but visibility. Now, visibility, I'm going to tell you, is mandatory. It really is mandatory. You're going to have to get yourself out there. I love the way that you spell Plae, Plae in the city. It's different. It makes people curious. They're going to look at that and say, is that play? And what does that mean? So it doesn't necessarily fall in your face telling you exactly what it is, but it has you speculating. And you could probably speculate well enough to guess it is some kind of event company. And so I love that. And because event companies are public, they're very visible, you're going to have to embrace that. You're going to have to embrace the fact that you need to be visible. It is a must. And so, Lisa, there's a couple things that you can do to get familiar with visibility. Definitely pull your camera out, your camera phone, and just start recording you as you're doing some of these things. Like you said, scouting out a building or on your way to have a meeting with a vendor. Pull your phone out and start recording you on the fly. It really does help. It gets you in the mode of being in the front of the camera. You know, what happens is every time we see our face in the front of the camera, trust me, I've been in the front of the camera so many times, but I still don't like what I see every time I get in the front of the camera. But
well, you saw when you told me that this was going to be a podcast, yes, and you said it's going to be on Zoom. I was like, what?
Yes. And it's like, but this is what I have to remind myself, that all my imperfections, including the one on my face, makes me beautiful. All of it, because nobody else has the same imperfections that I have. Nobody else. I have a friend that says, what makes you annoying on video, she says this, when she watches some video, she says, she told me this, a friend really told me this. She says, when you don't have your glasses on, you are doing something with your eyes. She said, that makes you annoying on video. Yes, she did. So,
well, would your eyes still do that with your glasses on?
Yes.
Maybe it's not as obvious.
It's not as obvious, she said, with my glasses on. So I'm like, okay. She says, your eyes just keep rolling around and it does this thing. And I said, okay. So I'm okay with that though, because I said to her, who else you know eyes does that? And she said, nobody. I said, okay. That's what makes me.
Well, there you go.
There you go. You're not going to get that anywhere else. And so I have to remind myself of that every single time I get in the front of this camera. I have to say, I am uniquely and beautifully made to be who I am. And it is those imperfections that make me stand out, that make me unique. And so embrace that, because you are beautiful. And you know, as women, and I was just talking to someone about this on yesterday, we are the most powerful beings on the planet. Yep, I said it. No other being is as powerful as we are.
That's the truth.
So, because of that, though, and because we're in the bodies that we're in, and the way society has made us feel in these bodies, we feel as though we have to be at some level of perfection before we can put ourselves out there. And that is not true. That is so not true. Because the perfection that you attain in your body as a woman is in mind, body, and soul. It doesn't have anything to do with just the outer shell. It's a combination of the three. I know some women who are put together so well, and they are so beautiful on the outside. But the minute you get to know them, they're so ugly on the outside, you're cringing and you're running away. It's like, get me out of here. So It's a combination of mind, body, and soul. And so remember that. So you've got to get visible. You've got to embrace that. And the best way, when you get in the car and you're getting ready to run out, and because you're an event planning company, I do believe video is probably one of the best formats for you. You are the expert in your industry, not me. But I do believe video and maybe blogging would probably be one of the best formats for you. Two of the best formats. And so when you get in your car and, you know, I would turn that phone on and say, headed out to wherever, and just do a quick video and just post it there. And so I know you mentioned the fact that you don't want people peeping into your lives, but guess what? Because you're an event planning company, that's what people expect to do. They expect to get snippets of you doing stuff and being visible because they want to know what's happening. It's the people that want to know what's happening that's going to bring them, that's going to drive them to Plae In The City, because they want to know what's happening. Always. Even what's happening with you. Because you're the person in the know. You're like Lisa in the know. So you know it all. You know what's happening in the city. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going down. You're pairing things up to make it an experience for them. Right? So you're really doing a whole lot of stuff to give them different experiences. Because, you know,
that's my tagline, experience different.
There you go. So you're a Lisa that's in the know because you give them this magnificent experience that's different, you know? That's why I'm going to that jazz event tonight, because they've talked about it. It only happens once a month. They make it exclusive, right? So I got to wait a whole month to get there. And so then the guy does it by himself, but he brings in these guests every now and then that'll like blow your socks off. And then I'll see people post it on Facebook and say, oh, I went and somebody was there, somebody I'd never heard of, but they were so good. And it was like, oh. So it's in a hotel lounge, and I'm sure I'm not going there for the hotel food. Although I may eat while I'm there, but it's the jazz experience that I want. So that's what you do. So you have to be visible. So embrace it. Okay?
Okay.
It is a part of the job. Now, like you said, there is a line between this is what I had for breakfast and this is what's happening in the city. Although people do want to get to know Lisa better, you can monitor what they get to know. And I do the same. Today I post a post about Faithful Friday because I experienced this morning with the gym and me not wanting to get out of bed. And so because of that, and not wanting to get out of bed, it made me think of something that I thought my audience wanted to hear. So I'm sharing a little bit of my life in that because, you know, they know I'm getting up early, I'm going to the gym. I don't want to get up early and go to the gym, but I feel like this is the best thing for my life, for my health, and for my future.
I think that makes you, that humanizes you, so to speak.
It humanizes you. And they can relate to it. So there are some things you share, but you just have to figure out what are you comfortable with sharing. And there are things you can share. Like, I don't share, I love my grandkids, but I don't share them all the time because there are just some memories I want to keep to myself. And so I'll share them every now and then. But it's awesome when I do, because then my Facebook people say, oh my gosh, the last time I saw him, he was such a little guy. And then, you know, they're excited to see him grow up. And so you get to decide. There is no rule on that. But you're right, it does humanize you. So you want to be able to do that. So let's talk a little bit about the mindset piece.
Okay.
All right. About you not really wanting to be seen. What is it about? And I'm not a mindset coach. Let me caveat that. But we're going to talk about it anyway because Vanessa's not here. So what is it? What is it about yourself that you don't really want to be seen?
I think it's a combination of things. I've tried to start a business on more than one occasion before, but then I was kind of chasing money in one aspect, and another aspect it was what I would say is the traditional event planning. With I only did social. I didn't do weddings. It was like birthday parties and with corporations and things along those lines. And I always would stop. So I kind of feel like I'm being judged, or maybe it's an internal judgment of a here she goes again type of thing. So that plays a huge part in it. I don't really, I have a few entrepreneurial friends, but the bulk of the people that are around me, I don't think they understand what it is that I'm trying to do long term. It's not just I don't want to go to work Monday through Friday like they do. I am completely wired differently, and I don't think the majority of the people in my life understand that. And they probably all just want me to go back to a 9 to 5 and stop this. So it's all of those things. And I think the more I think about it, I have to let it all go, because none of them are paying my bills. None of them will go into that hole in the ground, so to speak. So I've started just focusing on the life that I want and putting my energy into that. So it's baby steps of me coming out of my own shell, I think, whether it's been self-imposed or not. So there's a lot going on in my head that I feel like are distractions from me growing my business. So I have to start feeding something else, because I've been feeding that other stuff too long, and I feel myself being tired of it. So I kind of think that's a good thing. But I don't want to be seen because of what I've done or haven't done or didn't finish doing in the past, and a slight underlying fear, I think, of if this doesn't work. So if I had one word, it's judgment.
Judgment.
And I think I'm judging myself too, so I can't blame it on other people. So that is, I think, the biggest thing. And I'm really working on the worthy piece, like all of the things that we talked about. I'm okay. I'm perfect just the way I am at this weight. All of it. Like, I don't need to lose weight to build my business. I don't need to lose weight to do anything. Like, it's my choice to lose weight, gain weight, do whatever else. But me as a person, I'm still that same person on the inside. So I really need to work on that too.
Absolutely.
All of my mindset things, which play a big role in how I move forward on a daily basis.
It does. And it plays heavily. And Lisa, what I have learned, like I said, I'm not a mindset coach, but what I have learned over time is that the mindset piece for each of us gets better. And there's highs and lows. And it's reframing the way you think about things. That's all it is. It's a simple reframe, constantly reframing your thoughts. And when you're reframing those thoughts, you come out with a different expectation. I posted something on my page yesterday about how for Mother's Day, my boys gave me plants for Mother's Day. And I was like, my very first thought was, why would you? I killed them all. Why would you? But I was, I love my boys. They, it was meant from, it came from a great place. The fact that they were giving me plants. And I said, okay. And later when I thought about it, Lisa, I said, that was the wrong thought. I said, I should have thought, yes, I usually have killed them in the past, but today I am making a decision for me to keep these plants to live and thrive. And I did. I made that decision right then and there. And I said, these plants are going to live and they're going to thrive. And so I took pictures of them yesterday and posted them online because they're still living and thriving. And I would have killed them by now. And so it is simply a decision, Lisa, to really reframe your thoughts and say, no, that is not the case. This is the case. It is not this, but that. And so, you talked about the fact that you started a business before. And I know when you and I had previously talked, yes, you have started a business before. And with those businesses that you have started before, Lisa, you made money. It wasn't like you started a business, didn't make any money, and you had to stop. No.
That was so simple of a statement, but so powerful to me. Like, you have no idea. Or maybe you do, because you saw my reaction. And it was, because I had just taken all the negative of it and made it just about the negativity of not continuing or stopping or, whatever. And I never, ever looked at it like that before.
Yes. You were successful in those businesses. You made money. The fact that you did not continue with it has nothing to do with it. You moved on to something different. What is so funny, like, I think, and I'm going to botch this up, I always do. It was either Thomas Jefferson. No, it was Edison. It was Edison. So he tried this 10,000 times to make this light bulb, right?
Oh, yes. Yes, he did.
He did. But he didn't just spend all his days trying to make the light bulb for 10,000 times. What happened is he made other things along the way. So he had other businesses along the way before he finally made the light bulb. And so I always think about that when people like to say, you're everywhere, you're here, there, and everywhere. And okay, until I get to my one big thing, I'm a multi-passionate. Edison,
I am too. Yes.
Yes. So I've got to do different things. So that's all it was. And even if your businesses did not work, even if they didn't, I guarantee you that you learned something, you grew from it, and it ended up making the next business better.
That's very true.
So you failed forward. You didn't fail backwards or fall out. You failed forward. So you need to erase that thought from your mind. I really, I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. Even so far as when I date, I hear it. You're here, there, and everywhere. I can't keep up with you. You've got too much energy. Oh my gosh. That's not my problem. That's your problem.
It really is.
That's not my problem. Don't make it my problem.
Well, that's what I think. I've allowed people to make it my problem, and I've been carrying that too long.
Yes. And so it's time for you to release that. And I'm going to tell you about something to release that soon. 1 second. You talked about internal judgment. Yeah, there's always, let me not ever tell you that there's not going to be external judgment. There will always be external judgment. There will always be people who look at you and want you to be something else. I'm from the country and in South Carolina. So when I talk, and my mom taught us to try to articulate our words, right? But when I get excited or I get too comfortable, my words come falling out and they're tumbling out. They're not articulating. And people will say, "Are you from the islands?" And I'll say, "No, that's South Carolina country." And they'll be like, "It sounds like you're from the islands." And so, I had a woman send me an email once and said, "I love listening to you, but the only thing is every now and then you go into this dialect that just sounds so horrible." It's like, yeah, I don't care. She said, you articulate your words very well, and then all of a sudden you fall into this dialect that sounds so horrible. And I knew exactly what she was talking about when she said it. And I just sent her an email back and said, "That's what makes me special. And I love you too." And I just left it at that. Because there was no need for me to explain. She wouldn't understand it. She doesn't like that sound I make. So stop listening,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Easy solution.
Yes. I don't know what you want me to do because I can't fix that. It's just me. And so internal judgment. I think when you, and we'll get our mindset coach to talk about this, but I think when you figure out how to reframe your thoughts and fix the internal judgment, because there's a lot of talk that goes on. We do that self-speak in our head all the time, all the time. Like, I have been really busy, Lisa. And, I told you when we were talking before we started recording here, I told you my brother-in-law had passed away. So I've got a lot of stuff going on, just a lot of stuff going on. And so even this morning I was thinking, oh no, I can't go to South Carolina until I get my toes done. Because if people see my toes there, that's funny, right? Because I really need a pedicure. I'm just not, my favorite pedicure spot I'll go in there and I have to sit in there for like 3 hours. They're so good that everybody comes there, and I usually forget to go during the day and I end up going when it's busy, and it's like, oh, and then I had to think about it and say, you have a busy day today. If you don't get in the pedicure spot, it's okay. Wear some shoes that cover up your toes.
Crisis averted.
Yes. It's that negative self-speak we give ourselves. Like, we've got to be perfect. Like, we're on, and
that plays into the visibility. Like, I feel like if I'm going to be visible, like my hair and makeup needs to be done if I'm on video for my business. And it feels exhausting before I even start, to be honest.
Yes. That's why I don't do it. I just, I know you're probably looking at me saying, yeah, I just don't do it. You're probably looking at me saying, she really needs some makeup or something. I don't care. It's like, my daughter, before she does it, she does the whole makeup thing, and I'm thinking to myself, what a waste. I'm not doing that. I would never get anything done if I did that. So,
well, me either.
Yes. So I don't worry about that. I come as I am. I understand people want something pleasing to look at. If I'm not pleasing, turn it off.
I need some more of that.
And I'm not being rude. I'm really not.
No, you don't come across that way. It's just very much.
It's factual.
It's a fact, and it's a decision for other people.
Yes. Why am I taking the burden of your decision because you don't want to look at me without makeup? I don't care. Turn it off. Just don't look. listen to the audio if that's what you want to do. I mean, I don't care, Lisa. And it's like, I'm not going to stress myself out about doing all the makeup and the hair and all this stuff before I get live on camera. The information that is coming out of my mouth is so much more important and so much more impactful and so much more valid than how I look on camera. The services that I'm offering to women are so much more important and impactful and important, just something women need to have, that I'm not going to waste my time worrying about, oh, I can't deliver that today because I don't look right. I'm not doing that. And so it's the internal judgment. And then what we do with the internal judgment is we start thinking, I wonder if that person is thinking that, or that person is probably thinking that. They're probably saying, isn't this Lisa's 10th business? Oh my gosh, when is she going to get it right? Lisa, I am never going to have one business, two business. Right now I have 3. I am never going to have 1 or 2 businesses. I love what I do. I absolutely love it. You know, I said, this week I said, I'm taking the word busy out of my vocabulary, because a lot of people use the word busy as an excuse. They use it as this mantra to feel like
it's supposed to give them a certain status.
Yes.
You're busy.
Yes.
I think there's a huge difference between being productive and being busy.
Absolutely. So I say, when people ask me, how are things going? I'm productive. I'm having a productive day. I'm not busy. And when someone tries to get me to do something I don't want to do, or I can't do because I'm having a productive day, I'm going to say that I just don't have time because I am having a productive day. And I've got to continue in that path, having a productive day. I don't want to be busy, because busy connotates that I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, and that I'm not accomplishing anything, and I'm not enjoying.
That's what it sounds like when people tell me that they're busy.
Yes.
I always take it as that is an excuse sometimes, and that at the end of the day, after a certain age, you realize that people make time for what they want to make time for.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
When someone says, oh, they're too busy to do something, I take that as they don't want to do it, and I just move on.
Yes. And so productivity for me and my businesses is paramount. I love what I do. Yes, I am productive way more hours a day than the average person is. I love it. I love every minute of it. I do, Lisa. I really, really do. If I didn't, I keep thinking, if I wasn't this productive in a day, what would I do? Oh my gosh, I'd be miserable. So it's the things we tell ourselves and the things we let other people interject. Because I have family members that other people will say, oh, she's just always busy. She's always busy doing what? And and they'll say this to me because, we just have that relationship in a family where they're very open, I'm open. And so I said, I'm going to stop saying I'm busy. I'm going to say I'm productive. And because I'm being very productive and intentional and precise with my day. But I run all these businesses, Lisa, because I love it, not because I'm just trying to be busy. I love it. So don't you love Plae In The City?
I do. Just all the things that I want to do and share with people. I'm excited about it. I get giddy. It makes me very happy.
When both Vanessa and I heard you talk about it the other day, it was like you came alive. And so I knew it was important for you. It's your passion. Remember that when the internal self-speak starts, the internal judgment. Remember that when the external judgment starts. Remember that.
Well, I'm going to tell you a very funny, quick story. And clearly I've had this for a while as far as taking people's stuff on. So in junior high school, a girl told me that I had a pie face. And I got really, really upset. And my girlfriend, I got really, really upset at my girlfriend. This is like the 7th grade, the crux of insecurities.
Yes, yes.
She was, shall we say, not camera friendly at all. And so my girlfriend was like, not being mean, but she's very factual, matter of fact about it. And she said, why are you taking her opinion about you when she looks like that? And not to make fun of that woman, that young girl either, because obviously she was lashing out. But I've always apparently have taken this on. And to your point, when you say people are always thinking, oh God, here's Lisa again with another business. When is she going to get it together? Or is she ever going to get it together? Those people aren't even taking the opportunity or the chance at what I'm trying to accomplish. So why am I paying attention to them? Why does it matter what they think?
Exactly.
So I'm slowly moving towards the, as you said, I don't care. Change the channel, listen to the audio. So it's going to be a shift.
Yes.
A shift for me to
absolutely
be my star self.
But
I'm excited to meet her.
Yes. You keep working on it. And I want you to pull out a piece of paper.
Okay. I have my pen and pad, my journal.
And one of your homeworks, I'm going to give you a mindset homework. We talked before and you had a mindset homework to write out your entire life, right? Now I want you to also write out who Star Lisa is. I have that written out as well for me, who Star Lisa is. And that is what got me to that point. I would read that. I taped it to my mirror and I would read it every morning. I remember, I don't remember, I haven't done that in a very long time, but I remember even in mine, there was one part that said, and girl, you look good. And I would say it just like that every time I got to that part.
That's right.
Yes. So tape it on your mirror, say it every morning while you're in your mirror so you can look at yourself and you can know that. The internal judgment, external judgment, we've got to get it to go. You mentioned something about being on this journey. Not many people understand. You don't have many friends who are entrepreneurs. That is a common thing, Lisa. We are on this journey alone, only if we allow ourselves to be. And what I do, and a lot of people do not understand the power of Facebook and the Facebook groups. And I don't allow myself to be on this journey alone. I don't use that as a place to troll and I don't know what else people would use it for. I use it as a place to make connections and make good friends. I met you on Facebook. There are, yes. And I feel like we have made a great connection. And because of that connection, we're able to really just talk to each other and solve issues. And so I've made friends with other people that I'm able to do the same. And there's nothing wrong with jumping on a Zoom call doing that. Yes.
Well, I did reach out to a couple of women that I've met and just kind of stayed in contact with from previous networking groups and organizations and things. And I want us to get together that are in this area.
Good.
Just to have a couple of face-to-faces and connect and see what other businesses are doing. At least then you can refer other people or, make the relationships closer, find new ones. So I started doing that yesterday because that's something else that I wanted to do.
Yes.
So,
and there's nothing wrong with having the friends that you do. I have friends that don't do any business. They don't understand it. What happens over time, though, a lot of times is that you will begin to pull away from those friends and draw closer to other friends that you have met that are able to understand what you're doing and you can have those conversations with. And there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, me and my other friends, we really get together when we get together and we have a great time. They always say, she doesn't have time for us anymore. And I just ignore it when they say it. I love on them and I kiss on them and I say, but I still love you. And so, that is what you do. But this is only a lonely place if we allow it to be. So you get out there and make you some connections and make you some associates and friends that you can talk to, that you can relate to, that you can actually get out there and network with. Okay?
I'm going to do that.
Yes. So I think we are just about ready to wrap this up. Now, 2 quick things. I want to ask you about your budget, your business budget, and your time. Have you got both of those things under control?
No.
Okay.
So I was working on my budget yesterday, and by that I mean I picked an amount to make over the next 6 months, and then I took that amount and I looked at it in a bunch of different ways, meaning how many events I would need to accomplish, or how many, like 12 events or 8 events or 10 events or 6 events, what those amounts would be next to each number of events. And I only did it over the course of weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I don't know if I want to try to do weeknight events yet. So I'm just looking at weekends. So that's as far as I got.
All right. So this is some homework for you.
Okay.
I want you to look at the value of what you're giving in those events. What is the true value of what you're giving in those events? Because we're going to begin, we're trying to find pricing, right? And so I want you to really look at the value. What would you pay? And what value you are adding to increase what you would pay for the same type of event, okay?
Okay, so I'm looking at the value in the events and what value, what was the last thing you said?
What would you pay?
Well, that's definitely what I've been looking at.
What would you pay? And what are the things that would be added to those same types of events that could provide better value for you to pay more?
Okay.
All right. I want you to take a good hard look at that. And you want to look at that, the way you want to do that is you want to put some things down after you think about it. And then what you want to do is go back, set it aside, and come back to it. You and I will touch bases on next Friday to see what you've come up with that. Now, as far as the timing in your business, have you been having good time to work on your business?
Honestly, I have lots of time. And I think I mentioned before,
Good.
Sometimes I slack off. I do have spurts where I'm all in 100%. And then I have moments or a day where I do just a little bit. But I've noticed a correlation between, on those days, it's usually I'm not really sure what I should be doing. I know I should be working on money generating activities, which is creating the events and marketing them. But if it's like, for example, I'm still working through how to approach with my finances ready to the vendors. Like yesterday, I had to fight off ordering a pizza and just watching TV and not doing anything. And so I reached out I made myself sit down and reach out to a vendor for an event that I want to do, a collaboration, an interest letter,
Right.
so to speak. So I see a correlation between, I guess it's a little bit of fear and a little bit of, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then that makes me go eat.
Right.
So I caught that yesterday.
Good.
So that's not to say I won't eat a pizza today. No, I'm just kidding. So
Yeah.
I have the time. I had this process and I need to get back to it where I had a routine in the morning. So
Yes.
I need to get back to that because it was structured. And
that's very important.
When I don't have structure, I am wasting time. So
Right.
this weekend I said I was going to plan and structure out my days.
Right. That's very important. Even though you have a lot of time, you want to structure those out. So you want to look at, one of the things I teach my clients is you want to be prepared to hit the ground running in the morning. So you want to look at your day, your next day, the night before.
Yes.
And you want to make sure you have 3 priority things. I call them my tasks, priorities, or opportunities. And you want to have your 3 main things that you need to accomplish that day. And then you can put a few other things in there for good measure on the bottom of those 3 things, just in case you finish them early and you find that you have extra time. But you want to get those 3 things done every day. That way you're having a structured, I'm moving forward and getting things done. It's okay to take a break, but there's 365 days in a year. And if we got 3 things done every day, we would do over 1,000 things in our business a year. And that is an amazing amount of things to do. You could probably do 1,000 things and run your business very, very well. So you do want to make sure that you're focused on that every day. So your second part of your homework is building yourself a structured schedule. And one of the best ways to do that is to be able to document what you're actually doing in the day for a few days first. And then from there, you see the holes. You see, all right, I spent an hour and a half watching TV, or an hour and a half on Facebook, on social media.
Complaining. I'm just kidding.
Yes. And so and then you're going to say, this is time I could have used on my business. Let me plug these holes. Okay? Got your homework?
I do. Well, were you going to give me something to release for mindset or?
Oh, yes. I want you to do this one little exercise. I want you to take some paper and cut it up into squares, into little squares. Okay? And on those papers, I want you to get in a quiet space, burn a candle, just kind of release yourself, relax yourself totally. And I want you to have a meeting with yourself about all the things that are bottled up inside and in your head that is actually bothering you, or creating some level of fear or doubt or something for you. All those things. I want you to write them on little pieces of paper. And I want you to fold them up. Every time you write one, just fold it up. And I want you to see how much paper you have when you're done. Take a picture of that, of your pile of paper. And then when you finished, I want you to take that pile of paper and burn it. Put it in something where you can just burn it. It's over. This is all gone. You are releasing it. And as you are burning it, I want you to say over that pile of paper, in these ashes, I am releasing all of my doubts and fears. and limiting beliefs. And so anytime any of those come up for you again, what you're going to be able to say is, I burned you. Why are you here? Go back wherever you came from. That is not who I am. I'm Star Lisa. Anytime you have those feelings again, you're going to say, why are you here? Go back. I burned you. Go back. You're ashes.
I like that.
Okay? So
I can do that.
you got your mirror homework. You got your releasing homework, and you have got your budget and time homework. Okay?
Okay.
All righty.
I'm going to have a great week.
Yes, we will. Listen, and we will check in on Friday.
Okay.
All right?
I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you so much, Lisa, for being on this Business Booster call. This is where we are just helping Lisa to move her business along. And join into the Bye Bye 9 to 5 podcast every Wednesday. There's another podcast live. Please subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and let me know what you think. And we're always great to have you. Love you. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Bye Bye 9 to 5 podcast has ended, but it doesn't stop there. Be sure to subscribe for more strategies and advice to help you move from employee to escapreneur, to have the kind of success you have always dreamed of without sacrificing family or time. And don't forget to rate and review us so we can continue to bring you the best content possible to motivate and encourage you on this journey. See you on the next episode.